How did we start out?
The story.
I don't even remember now.
I didn't.
But anyway, you were talking about, because we were talking about Ben Pat and Gwen and the year that you went to Hawaii to visit him when they were stationed there. I am not recording it. Go ahead.
Well, go ahead if you're recording.
Okay, I am. I was lying.
Oh.
And apparently I don't feel bad about that. So, okay, go ahead.
But anyway, he let me out of this.
Well, you got to start all over now from the point where you said he would set his alarm and at midnight every day y'all would wake up and do something foolish. I didn't get it, but go ahead. Oops.
Well, I don't know. This is a story about me and Pat and my relationship. And I just loved him. And I'm going to really miss him. But one of my favorite times was we went to Hawaii. And every night, me and Pat said at midnight we were going to do something special. So you'll remember this trip. So we would go to bed, and then about 11:30 he would knock on the door, and I'd get up and get dressed. We'd leave the house, and of course B was begging us not to go because it was midnight, and she said, "You don't know who is out there or what's going to happen." And Ben Pat would laugh and say, "Mother, you worry too much. We're just going out to have fun." And so we would go on in different places. We would go every night, but this one night he decided I needed to see the huge pineapple farms. So we got in his vehicle and drove off base and was gone, a little while, a few miles from where they lived. And then we started seeing these huge pineapple fields at dark, and they would just look so big and so dark and black, but it was just, you could just smell the pineapples before you would get there. So we really had a good time. But somehow B had come along with us, and she didn't get out of the car, but she got out of the car this one time, and we went out in the middle of this pineapple field and took grass bags, those cloth bags, big bags to pick pineapples. And B was begging us not to pick them. She said, "You are provost marshal, and you will just lose everything you've ever worked hard for, Pat." And he said, "They're not going to find me tonight." And so we kept going, and it was just amazing to be in the midst of those pineapple fields, and you would look around and all you would see was pineapples. And you wouldn't even know, had I been there alone, I wouldn't have known which way to walk to the road, because I was totally lost, but I was trusting him. So we went to picking pineapples and putting them in bags and dragging those bags along, huge bags of pineapples.
But now he let you out.
Yeah.
And said, "I'll come back and get you,
Yes.
But if lights come, flatten yourself to the ground so you don't get caught."
Yes.
Okay.
I'd forgotten that part.
So then what happened when he came back?
Well, he came back and he flashed his lights, but then he drove on.
Because you flattened yourself to the ground.
And he couldn't find me. So he kept making trips up and down, and by then I was afraid it was the police looking for me. So I wouldn't get up. When the lights would come, I'd get down under the pineapple plants. And so he couldn't find me. And this went on for a while, but then finally I decided, well, it looks like I'm going to have to go to jail to be found. So I stood up and started waving. He was so glad to see me. But anyway, it was so much fun, and we could hear B, I could, from the back of the car, crying and saying, "You've got to find her. You've got to find my sister,"
So what happened when you drove back on base?
Well, when we filled up the car with pineapples and started back to base, and B then was worried, where are you going to put these pineapples where the neighbors won't see them and know what you've done? Because it was if you got caught picking pineapples, it was a real expensive fine. And so Pat would always laugh and say, Mother, don't worry about it. Uncle Wallace got lots of money. He'll pay the fine to get his wife back. So, and we would laugh, and Bea would just almost start crying. She was so irritated with us because we were taking it so as fun, and she was taking it seriously. It could happen. But anyway,
When you drove,
how many sacks of pineapples that we had picked.
but when you drove up to the gate,
Oh, yes. And then we got to the post, back to the post, and we had to stop. And Pat jumped out, and they were saluting him. The soldiers at the gate were saluting him and calling him Captain Adams, and, acting like they were so glad to see him. And so, anyway, then we got back in the car to go on. But I had covered the pineapples up with a blanket that was in the back so they didn't see the pineapples. So when we started off, one of the soldiers hollered, "Halt!" real loud. And so Pat stopped, and he said, "Oh no, what does that man want?" And he said, "Oh Lord, please don't let me be caught." And so anyway, we stopped, and he said in a real firm voice, "What are you doing stopping me again this close?" And the man says, "Well, there's something hanging out of the car." And so let me go around and get it out. So he came around, and on my side opened the door, and there was this. When I had closed the door, I closed it on a pineapple plant, and there was this big pineapple plant. Pat says, "Well, Aunt Mo, what's wrong with you, putting it on me?" And the soldier was just laughing, and he said, "Okay, you're free to go." So we left, and we got home, and he said, we laughed all the way back to their home, and got out, and we took all those pineapples out. And Bea said, "What are you going to do with these?" And he said, "Leave them on the porch." And she said, "And all the neighbors are going to know that you went out and stole pineapples. And it is a big fine, and someone will turn you in."